If you're getting married and you're doing your own makeup because that's what makes sense for your budget, you're in the right place. I'm a professional makeup artist, but I know not every bride wants or can hire someone for their wedding day, and that's okay. My name is Olivia, and I'm the artist behind Zazetti Pro Makeup, and today I'm showing you a bridal makeup look that will photograph well, wears beautifully, and doesn't require my massive kit. You can use what you already have at home, and if there's anything else that you need, I'll list it down below so that way you can see what you do need and what you don't need. I want to be really clear about something before we start. This is not about perfection. This is about confidence, feeling comfortable, and feeling like yourself on your wedding day. Okay, so let's get started. First, we need to start with skincare. So I'm going to use a prep pad, and this is going to tone and moisturize my skin and exfoliate it a little bit. Now, I probably needed to exfoliate with an actual exfoliator today because my skin is super dry at the moment and obviously red. Just doing skincare the day of the wedding and not prepping months before the wedding is still gonna leave you dry for that day. So it doesn't have to be fancy. Moisturizer, exfoliator, and washing your face morning and night. That will help the makeup stay on longer throughout the day and just perform so much better. The way that it looks, the way that it's not gonna set as much in any creases or crumbles or anything like that. Because I am extra dry, I'm still gonna go in with an actual moisturizer and make sure it's just all even. Add a little more on this side than this side. Definitely do your skincare and your whole makeup routine a few times before your wedding, so that way you can tell if your makeup is rolling because you put too much skincare on. That almost looks like your skin's peeling, but it's just the moisturizer or the primer or something like that. So now you have two options of primers. You have a smoothing primer and you have a more glowy primer. Depend on your skin type, which one you want to use. You can use both if you want to be fancy, but since I am a little bit more on the dry side, I'm gonna go with this one. I'm just gonna do one pump. I don't want to do anything excessive. That's what the moisturizer is there for, to make it go on a lot smoother without overloading your skin. I'm gonna take a cream eyeshadow base and put it on my lids to keep my eyeshadow on as long as possible throughout the day. I love these because they have a little bit of color, so it's gonna take all the little veins, the redness, that little bit of blue out. Now, why wouldn't I just do cream eyeshadow? My cream eyeshadow is gonna have a little bit of shine, and I don't wanna put all of that shine up here because we added that little bit of glow here already, but we don't want to look glittery from the lid up to the eyebrow. There's a million different cream eyeshadows that you could pick from. I like this one because it has a champagne glow, and I like the liquid feel to it because it's just easier for me to use. If you have a stick eyeshadow with a little glow to it, use that. If it's what you already have and you don't want to buy anything else, this works perfectly. A little bit goes a long way with this. I like to get it in the little inner corner. Now we're gonna use a neutral eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna take the more neutral, not orange shade and kind of shape out my eyes. I'm gonna go from the corner and I'm gonna go in towards the base of my eyebrow. I'm not gonna bring it all the way in here, and I'm not gonna go swoop it all the way in because it's gonna take away all that shine we just added. I'm gonna start adding in a little bit more color. So I'm gonna go in with this rose. I like it because it doesn't look pink. It still pulls brown, but it starts to really give that pretty neutral look. Now I'm switching to a smaller blending brush. They look very similar. One's just bigger and one's smaller. And I'm gonna add that and start blending out the outer corner more. Now I'm gonna go in with the deeper shade. I'm gonna pat it on the inner corner and blend. See how by my eye's not moving, I'm not pushing. I'm just gonna lightly dust it and keep it inside. And you can see how now that I'm starting to use darker colors, I'm not going as far into my eyebrow as I was with the contour shades. See, I'm not holding my brush like a pencil, right? Because that is naturally, look at how when I set my brush down, it moves the skin of my eye and it's putting too much pressure. So if you hold your brush out farther, you don't have to hold it all the way out here because then it's all like willy-nilly. But if you hold it about 3/4 of the way back, you can really have so much more control to get that depth without putting too much pressure and then without feeling like you have no control over the brush at all. Now I'm gonna go in with the deepest shade and we're just patting that so lightly, and I have enough on my brush to add to both eyes here. Just a little like boop, and that's all you need. You could always add more. The way to not get that really harsh line is to do very light layers and little bit of product. These eyeshadow palettes last forever because they're so pigmented. So just little tiny bits. You didn't see me like really grinding in there or anything. So soft, tiny taps to give that blend. Go from lightest colors to darkest colors to really blend it out, and the darker you go, the less product that you're going to use. I'm gonna go directly in with the rosy color because we don't need to contour the bottom of the eye. And I'm gonna use a tighter smudge brush, and I'm gonna put that starting at the outer corner and bring it in to the inner corner, kind of where the lashes stop. I'm not gonna bring it all the way in here. See that glow? That glow we want to keep there. So we're just gonna bring it where the lashes stop. Then I'm gonna go in with that second to last dark color. I'm gonna add it in the same area, but with that one, I'm gonna go in only halfway. You might feel like it's not enough, but don't overdo it because we're still gonna add eyeliner. Now in some neutral palettes, there's usually a glittery shade, and I really like this shade here. I'm gonna tap that right on top of the cream. It gives a little extra like ultra glam to really catch the light for pictures. Now this is still absolutely gorgeous. You could keep it here if you're not a huge makeup person. If you wanna just step it up just a little bit, adding that little bit here is a game changer. Now we have two options for eyeliner. We have a deep brown and we have a black. If you want it to look more soft and smoky, go with the deep brown. If you want it to look a little bit more made up, or you're just used to wearing black for your whole life in your makeup, you can absolutely go with black. Today, I'm going in with some brown. I'm going in with a really tiny brush. I'm just gonna take a tiny bit by the lash line. Same with the deeper shade of the eyeshadow. I'm only bringing that in halfway. Always starting at the outer edge. I'm right-handed, so my left eye is always the hardest. To go in the inner corner, I'm gonna flip it around and then just very lightly stamp it until I notice my lashes end. I'm gonna go in and just fill in the holes. Start halfway on my brow to get the feeling of the pressure I want to use. Then you could go in and just do little hair strokes. I'm going to use a little bit of a kind of like a brow mascara, and I'm just gonna shape my brow. I'm gonna put on my mascara. I do a primer and I do a mascara. Go in with my foundation. One pump, little bit goes a long way. This foundation is a semi-matte, so it is going to have a little bit of a glow to it, but no light reflect and shine. And remember, we're gonna put concealer on too, so don't get obsessed with getting that like completely covered cakey look to your foundation because you're afraid that some redness isn't getting covered yet. Going in with concealer. This is the Radiant because I like that really light glow. And I'm just gonna add little bits to the areas that are being stubborn for me. And then just pat in that area. Now I'm going with my bronzer. I'm just gonna blend that out on the contours of my cheek. I'm using a really flexible brush so that way it can really blend it out. So I don't like to use this color specifically for my jawline. This one has a little bit more of a gray tone to it. So I'm gonna go in with that one and do a little jawline structure. This also will help with the redness, so you don't have to go so crazy and like go thick with any concealer down here. My favorite blush is like a blood red. This looks terrifying, I know. So I'm gonna use a more mauve on this side so you can see the difference between the two because they're both so beautiful. I love both of them. This one is just such a hidden gem and you can use it on your lips too to give a little extra pop. This is a mauve, so it has a little pink to it, but it is very, very natural. This is where I like to start bringing color into the center of my face. This one, you're gonna use less of it because it's more pigmented, but you're gonna go in and blend it out. Look at how not scary that is. It looks like a beautiful pink blush. Now trust that process. Look at how gorgeous that is. Very, very pretty. Still very pretty, but we see how it's more bronzy now. I see how it kind of blends in with the contour more. This one looks more like blush. I'm gonna take a little bit of it and throw it on the lips. Now it will show a little bit more pinky red on the lips, but I'm gonna use a lip tone, a little bit more on the nude liner. Buff out the lip liner on the inside. Just smudging that out. I'm gonna go in with my lipstick. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of a red tint gloss, like a little bit more color. Gorgeous. So I need my powder to not look like I have powder on my face, to look smooth and flawless, and to color correct a little bit more. So that's where I have to go in with a pink powder. It's gonna help correct out a little bit of the yellow, but then the pink really helps neutralize that, but it does not look pink under my eyes. I'm going to really work it in the powder puff because look at all that excess powder that can just sit right on top of my skin and it's gonna get really cakey. So where I put the pink powder is my forehead, my nose, under my eyes, and a little tiny bit on my chin. So now I'm taking a translucent powder with no color in it at all and setting everywhere else. I'm just gonna use a coral, very universal color, and this is gonna add a little bit more pop of color when it comes to blush. I'm taking that little bit and bringing it in to the eye look. Add on some lashes. There's a lash with more fullness on the outer corner, and then here is a lash that's fuller all the way through. I tend to like this one a little bit better on my eye shape. So take a black pencil and put it in your waterline. And this side for more of a smoky makeup girl look, but I still love this side for a natural no makeup bride. So this is a finished look. I feel glowy, I feel bridal, I feel beautiful. Thanks for hanging out with me. If this was helpful, save it for later, and I'll see you in the next one.